going on there, YouTube?
What's going on there, YouTube?
This is SEL0320.
This is your boy Joe Johnson 030.
Yeah,
and here we represent JVS back one more time. We're doing the review for the new movie that just came out, Black Mass, starring Johnny Depp.
Yeah, so this is our non-spoiler review. We're gonna try to take this pretty fast because we got a lot to talk about, a lot of ground to cover. First off, I guess the visuals of this movie, the way it was shot, the cinematics, I thought it was really good. I thought that the way that they actually shot, scene for scene, especially a lot of the creepy moments with Johnny Depp or any of the characters in it, they did really good prosthetic usage of making them not look like the actual actors. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was Benedict Cumberbatch, if it was freaking Joel Edgerton, especially Johnny Depp. The guy that plays Todd in Breaking Bad, you haven't seen him, but he was the younger guy in the beginning.
Todd, yeah.
You ain't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but I know Todd. I know he plays in it.
Yeah. Okay. But they did a really good way of making these characters seem dark and run down. It's like as the movie progresses, they literally look as though they're unraveling physically and emotionally, and they shoot that very well. Like as far as the way they shoot it, as far as the visual effects, they do it really well. I think even like the small moments with the tone and the score, like the scary moments. Whenever you see Johnny Depp like alone with somebody, whenever you see him alone, even when he's not alone with somebody, he just literally lights up the atmosphere, and I don't know, man, he just goes to a really dark place, and it's really messed up things he does with a lot of different people. All of them are really gut-wrenching, but I mean, it's one thing to have an actor do that, but like we know personally from shooting our films that those scenes have to be shot a perfect kind of way, or you won't get that special kind of shot like you need to make the viewer feel as though they're out of place, you know what I'm saying? And I think the way that they actually shoot it, do a really good job with that. What did you think about, I guess, the portrayals or the acting in this?
I mean, the whole cast was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, because the character development is not... The only real character development you see is probably
This game.
pretty much... basically Johnny Depp's character, and then the Fed.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton's character.
Yeah.
Johnny Conley.
Yeah, Conley. Yeah, those have the largest character development.
Yeah.
Like as far as storytelling, but like each character, even each supporting character they transition. Like physically, like you can see it, and like you can see like the weight and the stress on their faces as actors and the roles that they play, and it's really good. The different shots that they take with this movie, there's a lot of shots with that display like the body language of each actor. So, like you're getting like people staring to each other's eyes, like cross-examining each other.
Oh my gosh!
And it's just like. It's like these people are like staring each other down, and it's just like, who's gonna back down? And they're gauging each other for weaknesses.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy to watch.
I mean, it's funny because the way you put that, there are scenes like, for instance, there's Johnny Depp in the scene at one point where he's like with his crew, and there's this random cop that just kind of comes up to the side, and the cop, to me, he comes off like a thug. It's not like the cops of the day that you worry about if they're going to shoot you or something happening or not, God forbid. But this cop seemed like a thug. He was like straight up cursing at them. They were engaging curse words. And like, one thing I can say is that Johnny Depp didn't like one of his crewmates disrespecting him because he was talking out of turn. But it was like the whole engagement, they were like sizing each other up. And that might have been the hustle back then in the 1970s or the 80s. In the streets of Boston. I'm not really sure because I'm not from Boston. We're from North Carolina. But all I know is it felt real. It felt authentic. Every single interaction. But when Johnny Depp comes on the scene them eyes, bro. Those eyes were ice cold. It's like the way that I could kind of describe his character is like he is a weapon, bro. Like I don't know how to describe it. He literally, to me, not just in his performance, but his embodiment of what this character represents, which is darkness. Me and Joe were talking about the effects, like that the weight of everything that this man was doing was causing everybody. He wasn't rifted by anything that was happening. From the jump, from the beginning to the end, he was the same exact person. But everybody around him was affected. And I think that's the whole meaning of the movie The Black Mass, is because he was the epicenter. And it just continued to grow and unravel. And everybody around him was sucked into it, was engulfed by it, to be quite honest with you, because like there were good people. Like some of the people that he brought onto his crew, I mean, yeah, they were tough guys, they were thugs, you know, but they weren't killers, they weren't psychopaths. Like there was a point where me and Joe were like, these guys are literally unraveling to the point that you described them as zombies. Because they literally weren't reacting anymore. They were killing, but they weren't in it. They weren't trying to do it for territorial reasons. They were just doing it. And what I said to Joe is that I feel as though they were doing it because there was no return from this point. One thing I'll say about the end of this movie, this is not this happy-go-lucky ending. The movie, I mean, no, I'm saying, like, normal movies, they can be cliche, like, there's a good silver lining with it. If you're looking for that in this movie, you're going to be sorely dislike this movie. As far as the story as a whole, this is told, like Joe described, as like literally like a real biography or like interrogation that's going on, and the end, you know, it's gonna be messed up. It's just the things that the process that goes, it's crazy, man. I think as far as the story for me, I don't fault the story. I don't fault necessarily the plot at all, because this is based on a novel that's based on a real life character or real life person, James Whitey Bulger. And how they depict this is good on a biographical standpoint, but may not be as far as dialogue what people would kind of receive. You know what I'm saying? Like people, if they were looking for something, a lot of straight dialogue, stuff like that, or like witty banter as far as the categorizations of people, then this is not that movie for them. But as far as the pacing, as far as the acting, as far as the way that they actually did it, they acted it to perfection. They became these characters. And I have to give them a really good rating just for that, to me, because my expectations going into the movie, which y'all saw beforehand, is that I said that the acting was going to be good, but I was going to leave the story sublime. I gave the story like a C. I actually thought it was really thrilling and scary, and like every time I saw Johnny Depp, man, I was scared. But the other thing is the guy John Connolly, he was a good guy. And like you see his character transform into something just from association to Johnny Depp's character. He, in my opinion, he almost steals the show in a lot of different ways. But everybody was on fleek. Everybody was on fleek. Benedict Cumberbatch did a great job. The accent was on point.
His accent.
Like, I was surprised.
British, you know what I'm saying? He's a British actor. Like,
he had that Boston.
What? Like, that's crazy.
He
was a beast as an actor.
I'm trying to see. There was somebody else. Corey Stoll, the dude that was in Ant-Man and House of Cards, he did a good job. Because when he came on the scene, it changed up the whole scope of what was going on. Because all the stuff, all the deaths and stuff that happened, like, he plays a whole different role in the whole entire movie, and I thought that he did a really good job. He shined really well. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about the story as far as the plot? And if you'd have to judge it as just a movie, what would you give it if you didn't look at, I guess, the acting? See, that's the problem, because a movie a lot of times is good, but the acting's terrible. Like, the story is good, but it isn't delivered right. I feel like the movie gave us what the biography of this person was, if best I know it. And I feel like the acting was good, but as far as the actual plot, as far as the story, did you, I mean, as a moviegoer, did you like it? Did you enjoy it? What would you give it as a rating?
I mean, as a movie, I mean, I appreciate it because of the actors. They did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Now, as a movie and like creativity, I don't think there was much room for creativity just because, which is not necessarily a bad thing in this case. The movie was very grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation was like pretty much it was telling you like what happened. And it was just stuff that took place. And I mean, it wasn't entertaining or wasn't engaging, but it was just like, this is what it gave it to you raw.
Yeah.
It was like, this is what it is.
So the movie itself, if that's the case, then it wasn't made to entertain. It was made to.
It wasn't like, it didn't like romanticize anything.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't, it didn't make anybody look it didn't give it like, okay, it didn't celebrate being a gangster to an extent.
At all.
It was like, or even, it's just like, this is what it was.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It was raw.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just completely raw. Like, he's absolutely right, because normally with the movie is meant to entertain. I was riveted by the performances that seemed grounded in that reality of when that happened in the past. And I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it wasn't like I was entertained because, oh wow, this one special moment, he went out of character and did this. No, this is just how evil of a time period it was with this man that messed everything up around him. And I mean, how, I can't say too much, but this movie wasn't made to entertain. Like, the directors, the writers, they didn't make this to entertain. Just like the person that made the book, they didn't make it to entertain. They wanted to tell a specific stage in this man's life. They didn't go from the very beginning. They just went from, I guess, this point after he came out of Alcatraz and back home. Mm-hmm. But from that point on, man, so many deaths and so many different things that go down. It's some dark stuff, y'all. Like, it's some seriously messed up stuff that goes down. Johnny Depp, if he doesn't get nominated, I can't believe he wouldn't get nominated. He's got to get nominated. There's no way he wouldn't get nominated. But I wouldn't be surprised if Joel Edgerton doesn't get nominated, to be quite honest with you. Because, I mean, he did a great job in The Gift. Joe hasn't seen The Gift yet. He did an amazing job of that. But this, I'm just like, wow. But, yeah, it was a good movie. I had to give it, I'm going to let you go first. What do you give it for a rating all around?
I give it a 9.
That's what I was thinking.
I give it a 9.
Yeah. I give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I was thinking 8.5, but the acting was just so on point. The accents were so on point. And I mean, I came out of the movie just like, dang. Wow, them some ratchet joints, man. I can't believe that happened. But even the very end, it's not any silver lining with this at all. So if you're looking for that, this might not be the movie for you. Hopefully you enjoyed our review for it. We both gave it a 9 out of 10.
You don't spoil the ending, man.
What you mean? Ain't no silver lining? Shoot. They gangsters. They ain't no ride or die. They gonna die, or either they gonna get put down.
You basically just gave it.
I mean, that just, man, get you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Got me locked up.
I'm just 12 years, not
You like how we did that? Alright, man.
Yeah. So...
But we'll be back with the brand new spoiler review in just a second. We're gonna probably get some food real quick, and do some things and get into some hood rats. No, I'm just playing. Alright, everybody. This is SCL0320.
All back.
Joe Johnson
030.
We make up JVS. Y'all have a blessed one. We'll be right back.
I'm never leaving.
Straight up in the DMV.